Terrific Tuesday afternoon. You know what that means. I've got Bernie Giggins sitting right next to me in the studio. How are you, Bernie?
I am absolutely fantastic. I'm terrific on this Tuesday.
It's Terrific Tuesday.
You wake up and you have to be terrific on this Tuesday.
Exactly. That is our motto. And that's going to be all of next year as well. It's going to be Terrific Tuesday. Look out, Ipswich. Now, we are talking about like Christmas. I'm really excited about Christmas because, but then I realise I'm very lucky.
Yes.
But a lot of people, Christmas is not so great for a lot of people, right?
No. You know, it's supposed to be, for sharing, being with friends, family.
Yeah.
So many people are lonely.
Yes.
So many people, this year, even for us, our suicide has touched our family.
Yeah.
Death has touched our family. And this is the time of the year that even more people, they just can't go on. But it's the ones who are left behind, as we were discussing before.
Yeah.
We have so many questions. Why couldn't I be there? And so there's a cloud over us all the time. And so what we want to talk about today is all about depression. How can we work through the depression? How can we use it to our advantage?
Yeah.
So it doesn't get to us.
Yeah.
Because when you have that, you go down a depression spiral, and there's a stage there that your body, your mind actually switches off. And it's really hard for you to come back.
Yeah.
So if we can, teach you a few little tricks today, if we can, so that you are here next year.
Yes.
Yeah, the world needs you.
Yeah.
All these people who are leaving early, on a spiritual level, they have to come back another lifetime.
And do it again.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I don't want to do.
Yeah.
after this lifetime, I don't want to come back. My
you
soul doesn't want to come back.
until you get it right, don't you?
Yeah. You have to, if you don't learn the lesson, it comes back in a bigger pair of boots.
Yeah. Okay, that's a really good saying, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And, the amount of boots that I've had
Yeah.
my lifetime, but it's learning that and it's seeing it from a different point of view as well. Yeah, so that's what we want to talk about. How can we be fully present, focused? If depression is your friend, if it's in your mind set, or you're watching other people, you're sad here. Why should everybody else be happy?
Yeah,
it's being able to understand what that depression can actually give you before it gets the switch.
Yeah. Okay. So I guess around Christmas time particularly, there's a lot of pressure to be happy.
Yes.
Isn't there? And for someone who has depression, that can be really, really challenging.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And you have to give more of yourself as well.
Yeah.
We have to give, we have to be happy, we're all these things.
So you're very depleted and you sort of, what little energy you've got left, you're giving away to other people till you've got nothing left for yourself to recover.
What about the shoulds? I should be doing this and I should be doing that and should.
That is the biggest killer, right? Because, it's just, you so that you beat yourself up.
Yeah.
And I didn't do that. No, I'm bad.
Yeah. And that's the stick on the inside, the inner critic, the outer critic. How do you berate yourself? Yeah. But the thing that runs it is what will people think or say about me? When you get that black depression, you can care less.
Yeah.
You just go into it. But rather than you go exiting on the outside, it's Russian roulette. When you get into that dark, deep depression, it's Russian roulette. You don't know when you're going to do the switch. Your body goes out. Or mind. Your mind is very strong. It goes, no, we're out here now. We can't deal with it. I'm telling you. Think about the voice that's in your head.
Yeah.
And it keeps talking you out of doing, of whatever else is better.
Yeah.
We've done it before.
Doesn't work.
Yeah.
Because it's really hard to get into that, like you said, a spiral, don't you?
A whirlpool.
Yeah.
Think about when you see the whirlpools and it's like, put a little cork in a whirlpool.
Yeah.
They've got no chance going down the tub or something else like that.
Yeah.
That's us. That's our mind. Because our mind wants to give up.
Yeah.
You're too bad. You can't do this. You're hopeless. You're helpless. You're powerless. Shut up and give up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what are your strategies then for kind of turning that around or harnessing it, I guess? Is there sort of a way that we can use that depression to get us through?
It's us. It's really doing meditations with yourself. It is there for a reason.
Yeah.
The depression is suppression of your truth. Yeah. What is your truth? I don't want to be here with these people.
Yeah.
These people.
I don't like them.
Yeah. Or, what is the truth of in that moment?
Yeah.
What are you not speaking? What truth are you not speaking?
Okay.
When you're drinking, smoking, addictions, anything else like that, you are actually taking away from your truth. And hey, the alcohol, drugs are the truth serum.
Yeah.
So if you're doing that, then why can't you do it without drugs?
Yeah.
And then really come back to the truth of you.
Yeah.
The journey into the truth of you, the journey into, what's true, what's not true. Are you in a relationship or a workplace that is not for you? And we're going to come up with the dark night of the soul.
Yeah, I love that. All right, well, stick around. We're going to be right back with more with Bernie. Talking about this. It's really interesting. Dark night of the soul. Ooh, that sounds interesting. All right, stay tuned this week. It is Rachel and Bernie on your drive home right here on West Bremer Radio. Beautiful. Sounds like a movie title, Dark Night of the Soul. Like, doesn't it?
Wait till you get into it. Just is. But you have to. On the other, depression is a double-edged sword. We think depression is the way out. That's the only exit door.
Yeah.
Whereas if you can stay in the, what did I do with the client the other day? It's like a train carriage. You're moving out of one, and in between train carriages there's a little part. Well, it's like as if you're there, and you can either drop through or you can go through to the next level. But there's a zone that is that part that, what am I really here for? Is there something better on the other side, and you've got to really get yourself into the truth of it. And then most of the time you can go through.
Okay.
Yeah. A lot of times, no, can't do this. I'm too weak, I'm too powerless, I'm too hopeless, whatever you've told yourself over the years.
Because it's that voice, isn't it, that just,
Such a very, very strong voice. Up with is you have to get in contact with your inner child. Which inner child is yours that's missing?
I like that, yeah.
Is it your criticised child, your ugly child, your unlovable child, unwanted, scapegoated, abandoned, lost, inferior child, worthless child? And if you can connect with that, that is your truth.
Let's do that. That's awesome. Do you want to start with Dark Night of the Soul? Or do you want to start with that one?
No.
Drive home on West Bremer Radio. Bernie, we're talking about, I sound really upbeat, but I know we're talking about something that's actually quite serious, and we're talking about depression, particularly relevant this time of year because Christmas, we're all told that we need to be festive and jolly and merry, and for a lot of people that's just not doable.
No, exactly. Yeah. And the truth is I don't want to be, and the truth is in your depression, there's a lot of sadness around your feeling, what are you feeling, what's the emotions that are actually happening. If you can be true to those, they're the main things that you really need to be true. If you don't want to, and that's self-care as well. I'm really not feeling the festive stuff. Look, I've been looking for t-shirts with the Grinch. Because that's how I'm feeling at the moment. When I get to Christmas Day, I'll have the merry jolly bits and pieces, but today I'm feeling Grinch. So that I'm true to my feelings, my emotions. What are you? And it's being true to your own self. So what we're talking about with depression doesn't have to be an illness. And we're going to talk in a little minute about this dark night of the soul, but depression led me to the dark night of the soul, and my spiritual awakening began. So how we've been taught, listened, and brought up, depression is, once you get into that black depression, there's no way out. It takes you out. It says you can't do this. And it's, if you can think about who talked to you like that, who is saying that you're hopeless, you're stupid, or whatever it is, we're going to come back in a minute. You're going to find your inner child. Yeah. You're going to find the inner child that you, that has still that ringing in the ears. Was your inner child a criticised child, an ugly child, unlovable child, unwanted child, scapegoated child? When I put anything up on Facebook about the scapegoat, the black sheep of the family, people are bing, bing, bing.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so many are black sheep of the family because you can't fit in, you can't do what they're
Because it basically, when you're a black sheep of the family, it sort of creates your life narrative then. fashions your choices in a way, doesn't it?
Yeah. Because you're told that, you experience that, you are that, you're branded that. You may as well have a spiritual tattoo on there as well, because that's who you are. That's who you become in that family. That's your truth. So then you get into the adulthood. And then all of a sudden, there's an internal, in your inner shift, there's part of you that wants to be fit in, wants to be part of the universe, of your community, your family. But there's another part that's really hidden. This is our, we call it the exiled or the banished part of us, and that's our inner child that we actually pushed away. Were you abandoned? Were you lost? Were you worthless? And as I said, if you are in depression, that means you are weak, hopeless, helpless, powerless. Where in your life has that ever happened? And in this dark night of the soul, what you do is you actually take yourself back in there, in your mind, because you are so strong at the moment. Your mind's got, no, we don't want to go back there. Because remember the last time you got into trouble, you got humiliated, you were bullied. We've talked on this program before about the narcissist, how they intimidate, bully. So the more that you can actually go through and find what was yours, because when you have that contact and you say, from now on, this is what I'm going to, I want more for you, I want a better place for you, I want a better life for you, to your own inner child. And that gives you, it almost like gives you a way to live. Because I'm living for my own self now. My inner child didn't have that. My inner child went through all these things in the past, and I'm going to change that for them.
Okay. So it's about looking at what resonates with you when you think about your childhood. Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So you have to find, what was the other thing? So we're talking about depression, suicide, that's the way out. You can't get past this, you're hopeless. So you're in your mind, you're always listening. You're hopeless, you're helpless, you're weak, you're powerless. Who told you that? And then you can go back into your history, into your timeline and find it. Our mind is, no, you can't do that because it's telling you you're weak, powerless, don't go back there. But if you can sit with it, sit in your heart, what actually happened? And I can, in this present moment when I'm grounded, centered, I can change anything. When you're in your meditation, when you're in your visualization and imagination, your mind doesn't know whether you're your age now or whether you're 2 days old. And that's so very powerful when you're doing the meditations. And so on the other side of it, rather than depression, exit, suicide, or death in another way, it's actually a spiritual awakening. There is something better for you. So we're talking about the inner child. What came up for me through the week, because this is the dark night of the soul, and this is really powerful here as well. We've got this planet Chiron in retrograde. Planet Chiron is all about the wounded healer. And the wounded healer is all about healing your past, your timeline. It could be lifetimes, but it's your childhood. So what I come up with was I was the ugly child. And this relates to so many people, the ugly child. But you push it away because you don't want to be the ugly child, because you want to fit in. You don't want to be the ugly duckling. And what I've found over my life is you can't be the swan if you haven't gone through the ugly duckling stage, right? For just those things. But here it said there's a lot of fear that your self-sabotaging is holding yourself back. It's positive intent. And what fear, if you did what you wanted to do, what fear would it have? So the fear, my truth, my version will be challenged, and I'm not confident to stand up to others, more outspoken, louder. And it doesn't want me to get hurt. So that's my inner being. And then the ugly child is desperate to have a partner. No matter what they do or say or make me feel, possession was all that counted. Having someone is better than no one.
Right, so then putting up with terrible relationships because...
So when you go back into it, okay, so then you can then change in your mind. This doesn't happen again. It used to be ugly child, but what do I think about myself now? So it's being able to bring two worlds in together, and you start deciphering. And this is the dark night of the soul, because you've got to go into the depths of, what you felt like. What was it like when people were laughing at you, snickering at you, calling you names? we can do this with any of the inner child as well, our little inner child there. The abundance in your life is proportionate to your sense of self. So if your sense of self is still that ugly child, still that unlovable child,
or the scapegoat child, or
the unworthy child, then your sense of self is going to give your reality in that.
Okay, so you get what you manifest? Is that kind of...
Yeah, you're going to manifest what you deeply feel about yourself. So if you have blocked it away, we call it the exiled, banished, they call it the dark shadow, a shadow side of us. If that's sitting in the background, that has got energy on it, so that's going to keep attracting, as we said at the beginning. You have to, if you don't learn the lesson, it comes back in a bigger pair of boots. Yeah. This is the lesson.
Yeah.
So you have to, break your own self free. Yeah. What do I choose for it now? Bring it into your heart space. Stand up for yourself. Value yourself. And as we said, reverse gaslighting is a really powerful one. Yes. And that all contains together.
And remember that you are just as important and relevant as anybody else out there, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But you're the only one who can actually go into the memory bank, and you are the only one who can actually change it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so interesting, isn't it? It really is. The other thing I want to just mention too, because we're talking about depression over the festive period, I think for a lot of people too, it's like an anniversary. I know it's always tough when you've lost someone and you have to go through major, seasonal events like Christmas or something that you would have celebrated with that person over time. To then have to go forward and keep doing that thing, but without them, I think that can cause a bit of...
Yeah, absolutely. Anyway, I can't think of her name, but she's a really good clairvoyant. She said, we grieve for them. They've already left. We grieve for them. Stop. They are quite happy. They've gone to pain-free place. Yeah. How about you start living for them? They are always with you. Pretend that they are beside you. It's just in spirit. Yeah. But the more that you're a long time dead. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. You're living here, but you're a long time dead. Yeah.
Yeah, interesting. All right.
Pretend that I had some people had a party the other day, and anyway, one of the guys had did himself in, but they had the ashes. And they brought his ashes to this birthday party, and then somebody else, and they had it organised, and somebody else's mum, and they all had different ashes, and they had a seat for the ashes, and they were all there, and I just thought, wow, isn't that just such a gorgeous place? Because they are gone, but it's still here in spirit.
Yeah. There is a country, I think it's, I want to say Mexico or Spain, where the Christmas tradition is to leave seats at the table for the ones who've gone, which I think is beautiful. Yeah. All right, well, listen, you have a fabulous Christmas, my love.
Thank you.
And we will see you in 2023.
You will. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, everybody, to our listeners in the drive home. We hope that we've made some fun.
Yeah, I hope you've taken something good away from it too. Hope it's helped you out. So thank you, Bernie.
You're welcome.
For everything this year, and I look forward to doing it all again in 23.
Thank you, Rachel.
Thanks, Bernie. It is Rachel and Bernie on your drive home right here on West Bremer Radio. I'll split that one into two. Yeah. Because I was going to non-stop, so...
No. Well, I was going, no, I can't.
Yes, I can.
But when you start, it's like, oh my God. Yeah, that ugly child one.
It makes come up sense before, though, doesn't it?
It's come up a couple of months ago. But Chiron has been in retrograde. Retrograde is when you review, release, go back over all the different stuff. Yeah. And coming forward. And the ugly child come up, and I thought, yeah, that's right, that's fine. And then this time it was like, holy shit. Yeah. And it's apparently dredging, because it goes direct on Friday or Saturday.
Okay.
So it's really dredging the deepest, darkest memories.